Hi, welcome back to the channel, or if you're here for the first time, welcome. Hopefully you're not here for the first time. This is the second, maybe third part. I don't know if I want to, definitely the second part. If you look back on our prior video, we had to replace this because it was broken, probably due to accident damage. And we replaced it with a new piece, which is all nice and shiny and beautiful. And then the rest of the assembly looks okay. But what happened the last time was we had a piece break. And Grant, if you can, is it showing the 3 dots? Okay. Cameraman says I'm showing the dots, so I'll trust him. This is where it was spot welded. Not very big, not very sturdy also. I tried disassembling it, and just a little bit of corrosion was enough to cause it to break loose. So here we've got a new one from Zip's Corvette. Zip Corvette? I guess I can look. Zip Corvettes. Zip products. I'm sure I'll be doing a lot of editing because I'm stumbling over that. Or maybe not, because I like to embarrass myself. So anyway, we've got a new vacuum pod, and we're opening it for the first time. And like the other part, very well packaged. Matter of fact, it's in there so well, I'm having a hard time getting it out. I see it's not made in the USA, but not much is these days. As long as it works, I'm okay. I should mention that at the time of filming, this to my door was just under $100 with the part and shipping and handling. And it looks like, interesting. Because they specified that they wanted left and right. Okay, looking at the old part, you want to make sure to match things up, and it's got the 3 nipples, and this has got 3 nipples. It's got the 1 nipple. I was looking at the 3 studs that are left. This one's got 4 studs like it's supposed to, and the other nipple for the vacuum is pointing the correct way. So we have the part that we need. It matches up. There's a cutout for this nipple, so you know which way it goes in. And I'm going to turn upside down for a better. Not quite matching up the way it should. Luckily I have this left over from the last time. A few gentle persuading taps, and it's in. Okay.
No dents.
And I'm probably going to have to take it back out because this clevis end is not on the new one. Okay. Well, let me figure out how to get that off. looks like we're just going to do it with some vice grips, because the whole stud turns. Okay. All right, Grant, do you know how to stop the video? Mm-hmm. All right, go ahead and stop it. Oh. Are we filming? Okay. Off camera, I did a little prep work. I hit the threads with a brush to get any grime off and shot it with some penetrating oil. Whether it'll do any work or not, we'll find out. This part we'll discover together. So hit it with everyone's favorite tool, the vice grips. And let's see if it came loose. Good. I'll be honest, I was a little worried. It looked fairly corroded. It looks like it was on there a fair amount. Okay. Alright, one of the things I'm going to do... Alright, so we're going to try again, and I've got the clevis end off, and then I'm going to put it on, but before I do that, I'm going to put a little anti-seize on there, because you always want to think of the next guy, because usually you're the next guy. So putting this on will make it a lot easier to adjust and disassemble if need be. Leave this. Don't tell me this is a different thread size. You've got to be kidding me. Yep, goes right on. Shut it off. I had to move locations because my two shop dogs didn't like me being in the garage without them, and I had no way of containing them while having the garage door open to let enough light in. So rather than hear them whine in the background, they're out here with me right now, probably getting into stuff they're not supposed to, but at least they're quiet. So again, as you can see, it's a different day. I also don't have my cameraman helping me, so any problems are entirely my fault with this segment of the video. And hopefully you can see this. And I don't remember exactly what was mentioned in the last segment of the video, so if I repeat something, apologies. What I had to do off camera though, I went to fit this on. I do remember that, and I went to fit this on and it wasn't threading on, so I had to actually take and run a cleanup tap to clean the threads up enough that I could get it on. Should I have just returned it? Probably. But once I had touched it with the tap, I knew I didn't have that luxury. I wasn't going to be one of those guys that was going to try to return a part that they had modified. But anyway, got it to work. Hopefully that was a one-off thing, but you might want to be aware of it no, these are not made in this country, and we might not ever get back to that again. So we'll just have to make do with what we have. One of the things that I didn't do that, excuse me, you probably would appreciate would be to measure where this was on the old stud as opposed to where I needed to put it on the new stud. Just didn't think of it. So that'll be something that you can, that'll be something that hopefully will save you some grief. But I did a rough measurement according to what I could see with the non-corroded part and with it retracted all the way. It was approximately 1.5 inches. And I go to here and we're at like 1.75 inches. So let's turn this in a few times. Turn. Let's go with that. Okay, I went with approximately the best I could measure. Got it within reason. It does have adjustability. Of course, it's going to be real pain once it's in the car to adjust it, but that's life. So again, measure beforehand, and hopefully that will keep you from making the same mistake that I did. But at any rate, let's go ahead, and I had partially assembled it so I wouldn't forget how it went together, even though I did take pictures. So we're going to go ahead, pull this apart, hopefully without shooting the spring across the yard. There's one. And two. Okay. This is a pin. It does have a bit of corrosion. Nothing too awful bad though. All right, so we're going to go ahead and push that in, and then we will take, all right, I can already see that I don't have this adjusted in far enough because it's in a neutral position right now. The headlight flap is, but it's not. Okay, good to know. So what I'm going to do is thread it on a couple more times. Wow. Make sure it is bottomed out. Yes, it is. Okay. And the rod is turning. Oh boy. Okay, that's our problem. Okay, I kind of prepared for this. I want to take it down to where I'm not going to tear up any threads. and use the most popular tool ever. And we're gonna now we can thread it down. And I did lubricate this beforehand, but maybe there's corrosion up in the clevis end. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and assemble it, and we'll just make it work. If I have to adjust it later, that's on me. But let's go ahead and put the springs back on. Before I do that though, let me put the retaining pin back in. And I should have done that before I put the spring in. There we go. Okay. Yes, I'm reusing it because it's actually in pretty good shape, and this isn't a safety thing like retaining a bearing or anything like that, so I'm not too awful worried about. But cotter pins should be replaced when you have when you're retaining anything that might fail and cause catastrophic problems, like suspension pieces, or wheel bearings. Okay, got that out. Now we can put this back on. This one back on. Alright, now bolted in, including our support rods. At least I'm doing this on a nice day. Got a little excited there. All right, so we got this, this. Again, if the camera isn't picking it up because of my angles, I apologize. I'll show you the finished product when I'm done, just in case. And again, doing this solo, so I set up the camera angles best I could. Alright, looks like this one got bent a little bit in the accident damage. So again, use our most popular tool. And hopefully not snap it. And we'll tweak it. That seemed to have done the trick. At least close enough for government work, as my dad used to say. All right. Okay, got everything snug down. Now I'm going to go ahead and test it. It's a good thing this isn't the color I'm going with. I don't know why someone did that, but I always thought Ontario orange was a really cool color. Of course, it's not cool enough that I'm going to be changing it back to that because I've always wanted a black Corvette. Anyway, all right. Now we have now if I've done everything right. Yeah. Of course I haven't because I didn't fasten everything down. Go ahead and snug those up while I'm thinking about it. This is the problem with having lag time between shooting different parts of the project. Need to hire a continuity guy, I guess, huh? Yeah. Okay, now let's see what happens when we apply vacuum on this side. Yay! Hope you can see that. It is popping up. Of course, on a running vehicle, it would happen a lot quicker. Let's go ahead and get this. See if it holds vacuum. That makes me happy. To me, that's one of the reasons to have a Corvette. The pop-up headlights, ever since C2. And we're still holding vacuum, so good. That makes me very happy. And to lower that, which I should go ahead and check, I know I tested the pod before to see if it hold vacuum, but now I want to see how well it does lowering it down. Alright, looks like I might have even got the adjustments halfway good, because it's going down smoothly and looks like it's got the full stroke. Of course, I'll be able to tell better once it's in the car, which is not going to be for a long time. One of the things I do before I'm going to do before I put it, the other one in the car though, is test it. It's well worth your time to, this is a Mighty vac, which I'm sure there's others out there. I just went with this, but if you've got a Corvette, I was always told you needed it to test the vacuum system. And yeah, I've already used this quite a bit. Anyway, I call this a success. Got everything working. Looks like everything's working correctly. And of course, final adjustments will be done once it's in the car, like I said. I'm going to go ahead and sign off now. Please tell anyone that you can, any way that you can. Like, share, subscribe. I don't think I've said that phrase in a long time. Everyone else seems to. But again, drums, telegraph, smoke signals, whistling like they used to do in Puerto Rico. A friend of mine used to tell me. Just please tell. I would really like to get this channel going and hopefully help some people. If they see the struggles that we're going through, maybe it'll help them once we overcome our problems. Thank you. Hello again. I realized I was going to show you a close-up of everything that was done, and I forgot to, so here it is. These are the springs that I was having to undo. This is the pin that goes through the clevis here and then attaches to the pod, of course. Here's the two braces that I was working on. I think this is the one I had to bend a little bit due to accident damage. And then that one bolted right up. Anyway, new parts. The rest of it looks like crap. Right now, I'm moving on to other things. And who knows, I might detail this one day, but right now we're just going to let it go the way it is. And I need to keep moving on this car, and anyway, that's my decision right now. If I do detail it, I will make another video. But if you're building one of these, feel free to show me up. Anyway, signing out again.